In the profound words of Seneca, a truth resonates deeply: every new beginning invariably springs from the conclusion of some other beginning. Imagine, if you will, that in a mere 7 days, that's just 7 days, you could metamorphose into an entirely different individual. Not merely an enhanced iteration of your current self, but someone so radically transformed that even your nearest and dearest, your closest friends and family, would be compelled to take a second, perhaps even a third, astonished look. This proposition isn't some fleeting gimmick, some empty promise devoid of substance. Instead, it represents a disciplined, meticulously calculated, and relentlessly pursued methodology for reinventing yourself from the very core of your being, from the inside out. You don't require years of arduous effort to effect lasting change. You don't need to perpetually await the elusive, right time, that perpetually receding horizon. All that is truly necessary is a single week, 7 days of unwavering and absolute commitment, to step boldly into a new identity, one that commands respect, embodies unwavering discipline, and is driven by a clear and unwavering purpose. This journey is about dismantling, piece by piece, those ingrained patterns that have historically held you captive, preventing you from reaching your full potential. Simultaneously, it involves forging the habits, the daily practices, that will sculpt and mold you into the person you were always destined to be, the individual who resides within, yearning for release. It's about seizing control, actively choosing your future, rather than passively languishing, merely waiting for it to unfold haphazardly, driven by forces outside your control. Understand this fundamental truth: those individuals who orchestrate drastic, life-altering changes don't idly wait for some mythical perfect moment to materialize. They don't passively sit around, hoping against hope that circumstances will magically become easier, that obstacles will simply vanish. They understand that change is not a passive event, but an active process. Therefore, they take the reins and actively shape their own destiny. They seize the now, embracing the present with unwavering resolve. They understand, with crystal clarity, that the idealized version of themselves, the person they aspire to become, isn't some distant mirage shimmering on the horizon of the future. Rather, it is meticulously constructed today, painstakingly built in this very instant. Transformation, that profound shift in being, doesn't unfold gradually over a span of years, a slow burn across the landscape of time. No, it ignites in an instant, a flash of revelation, the moment you commit to a new course and relentlessly pursue it with unwavering action. When this week concludes, prepare to be transformed. You will not be the same individual who embarked on this journey. Your mind, once perhaps clouded by doubt or hesitation, will sharpen its focus. Your body, once perhaps sluggish or neglected, will respond with newfound vitality. Your habits, those ingrained patterns of behavior, will undergo a radical shift, aligning themselves with the highest version of yourself, the person you are truly meant to be. If you've ever yearned for a reset button, a chance to begin anew, to erase the slate and start fresh, this is precisely that opportunity, a golden moment knocking at your door. But be warned, there's absolutely no room for hesitation, no space for half measures, and certainly no tolerance for excuses. This is a full-throttle commitment to self-improvement, a decisive break from the past. Therefore, if you're sincerely ready to cease playing small, to abandon the role of a passive bystander in your own life, to stop idly waiting for change to magically descend upon you, and to finally seize full and unyielding control of your destiny, then listen closely, with every fiber of your being. Your transformation begins now, at this very moment. It all commences with a single, pivotal decision, a courageous act of self-honesty, to stop the insidious cycle of lying to yourself, to cease pretending that everything is perfectly fine when, deep down in the recesses of your soul, you know with absolute certainty that you've been playing small, limiting your potential, and selling yourself short. The most challenging hurdle to overcome isn't the actual process of changing your life, the daily grind of building new habits and shedding old ones. Instead, it's the initial admission, the stark and unsettling realization that you need to change, that the established way you've been operating, the ingrained habits, the limiting mindset, the constant distractions, the endless procrastination, simply isn't propelling you toward your goals, isn't leading you to fulfillment, and, in fact, is actively hindering your progress. It's acknowledging that the comfortable rut you've been inhabiting is, in reality, a prison of your own making. Here is the true confrontation, the real trial by fire, and today, you will meet it squarely. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of resilience, espoused a practice of profound, unflinching self-honesty. They firmly held the belief that achieving mastery over life itself required, as a precondition, the complete mastery of oneself. Seneca, the eloquent Stoic statesman, once penned the words, "A consciousness of wrongdoing is the first step to salvation." Reflect on the immense weight of that statement. The sad reality is that most individuals shrink from taking that initial, crucial step, largely because it involves a considerable degree of discomfort. It is undeniably simpler, and perhaps more tempting, to cast blame on the external world, the precarious state of the economy, or the actions of others. However, if you persist in shifting responsibility to elements outside of your control, you inevitably remain in a state of powerlessness. The moment you embrace complete and unreserved responsibility for your life, the instant you cease constructing excuses and begin to truly own your actions, that very moment marks the dawn of your genuine transformation. Therefore, today you are called to engage in an exercise that the vast majority of people shy away from. You will undertake a brutally honest assessment of your life. And I emphasize, brutally, this requires complete candor, utterly free from any sugarcoating or self-serving justifications. Secure a notebook, utilize the notes application on your phone, or employ whatever medium serves you best. But most importantly, commit these thoughts to writing. What are the habits that are currently impeding your progress and holding you captive? What repetitive patterns constantly re-emerge in your life, patterns that you know, deep down, are fundamentally destructive and detrimental to your well-being? Identify these sabotaging forces, for only then can you begin to dismantle them. Where are you wasting time? A profoundly important question that deserves serious contemplation. What fears have kept you from taking action? Consider them closely, for they often hold the key to unlocking your true potential. What are you tolerating that you should have cut out a long time ago? Reflect on the things you've allowed to linger, the aspects of your life that drain your energy and hold you back. If this exercise makes you uncomfortable, good. This discomfort is not a sign of failure, but rather an indicator of progress. That means you're finally seeing the truth. The truth about yourself, your habits, and the things that need to change. And now here's the hardest part: you have to let go of the old you, the version of yourself that made excuses, the one that procrastinated, the one that allowed bad habits to take control. That version has to die today. It's a harsh statement, but a necessary one. To embrace a brighter future, you must shed the skin of your past. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." The words of the great philosopher resonate through the ages, offering profound wisdom. What he meant was that real death isn't the end of life, it's the refusal to truly live while you're here. And if you don't confront the parts of yourself that are keeping you stuck, you will stay exactly where you are, watching life pass you by. The thought of remaining stagnant, watching opportunities slip through your fingers, should be a powerful motivator for change. So how do you do this? How do you effectively banish the old self and embrace a new beginning? You need a symbolic act, something to mark this as the official moment you left your old self behind. This act should be meaningful, something that resonates with you on a deep level. Take that list you wrote, the habits, the fears, the excuses, and destroy it. Rip it to shreds, burn it to ashes, or bury it deep in the earth. Let this act be a powerful symbol of your commitment to change, a declaration that you are ready to leave the past behind and embrace a brighter, more fulfilling future. Burn it, rip it up, throw it away, or take any action necessary to demonstrate a physical commitment to change. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human nature, deeply believed in the potent influence of symbolic rituals to solidify resolutions. They recognized a fundamental truth: the mind craves tangible validation, concrete evidence that a transformation has truly commenced. This decisive act, whatever form it may take, serves as that very proof. And let me be unequivocally clear, the old version of yourself will, without a doubt, attempt a resurgence. In moments of profound doubt, when the trials of life become particularly arduous, your mind, yearning for the familiar and comfortable, will desperately try to lure you back into its well-worn comfort zone. Therefore, it is crucial that every single time an old, unwanted habit rears its ugly head, you resolutely remind yourself, with unwavering conviction, "That's not me anymore." You do not engage in negotiation with this old self, you do not entertain the seductive allure of the past, you shut it down with unwavering resolve. For the only path to genuine, lasting transformation lies in irrevocably burning the bridge to your past self, ensuring there is absolutely no possibility of retreat. Your habits are either relentlessly working for you, propelling you towards your goals, or they are relentlessly working against you, sabotaging your efforts. There exists no middle ground, no comfortable compromise. Every single day, the seemingly insignificant actions you take, the ingrained routines you meticulously follow, and the conscious choices you deliberately make are, in fact, relentlessly shaping your future, sculpting the person you are destined to become. And the truly astonishing reality is that most people remain blissfully unaware of this profound and constant influence. Now, I understand that completely restructuring your entire day, dismantling old patterns and erecting new ones, might initially sound overwhelming, an insurmountable task. But trust me, it's not about making drastic, sweeping changes overnight. It's about consciously implementing small, incremental adjustments, tiny shifts in your daily habits that, over time, accumulate into truly monumental transformations, reshaping your life in ways you never thought possible. These seemingly insignificant changes, when consistently applied, possess the astonishing power to unlock your full potential and propel you towards a future brimming with purpose and fulfillment. Therefore, embrace the power of small steps, and watch as your life transforms before your very eyes. Begin your day with intention. The initial moments after waking profoundly influence the trajectory of your entire day. Ponder this simple truth: if your morning commences in a flurry of haste and disarray, you are likely to carry that sense of unease and agitation with you for many hours afterward. However, should you initiate your day with a sense of serenity, meticulous planning, and unwavering purpose, you can maintain a remarkable degree of control and unwavering focus throughout the day. Therefore, as tomorrow dawns and you awaken from slumber, grant yourself a precious moment, merely a handful of minutes, to pause and reflect. Seat yourself on the edge of your bed, and following the wisdom of Seneca, the esteemed philosopher who fervently advocated for quiet contemplation as a means of preparing for the inevitable challenges that each day presents, reflect thoughtfully upon the aspirations you wish to realize today. Consider not only the specific tasks that lie before you, but also the personal qualities and virtues you aspire to embody throughout the course of the day. Once you have meticulously established your intentions for the day ahead, make your bed with deliberate care. While this may appear to be a simple, even mundane task, as Admiral McRaven eloquently shared in his now famous commencement address, if you aspire to change the world, begin by making your bed. This seemingly insignificant act bestows upon you the first accomplishment of the day, instilling a sense of momentum and setting the stage for continued achievement throughout the hours to come. Thus, it is a very powerful action. Following this, dedicate some time to engage in a brief session of physical exercise. This need not be an exhaustive or strenuous workout, rather, simply something to stimulate blood circulation and invigorate your body, awakening it from its slumber and preparing it for the demands of the day. This could be a brisk walk, some light stretching, or even a few minutes of jumping jacks. The important thing is to get your body moving and your blood flowing. Therefore, taking the time to wake up with small exercise is beneficial to your body. The Stoics, with their profound understanding of human well-being, placed great emphasis on the inherent connection between a sound mind and a sound body. Epictetus, a prominent figure in Stoic philosophy, frequently asserted that it is essential to cultivate not only our intellect but also our physical form, thereby maintaining both in optimal health. Following some physical activity, it's crucial to provide your body with the appropriate nourishment. Start your day with a wholesome breakfast, something that leaves you feeling invigorated and satisfied, rather than something that will lead to regret an hour later. Remember, the objective here is to establish patterns that enhance your energy and focus, not deplete them. Therefore, make conscious choices that contribute to your overall well-being. As you progress through your day, consistently adhere to this newly established pattern. Instead of impulsively reaching for your phone to mindlessly scroll through social media during breaks, consider stepping outside for a refreshing walk or perhaps dedicating a few minutes to reading a page or two from a captivating book. Seneca, another influential Stoic, would often utilize these moments to jot down thoughts in his journal, reflecting on his behaviors and reactions to various events. This practice can be immensely helpful in ensuring that you remain aligned with your newly established goals and intentions. As your day gradually winds down, make a conscious effort to unwind with it. Consider establishing a new evening routine that involves reduced screen time and increased quality time connecting with yourself or your loved ones. This mindful approach to the end of the day can promote relaxation and prepare you for restful sleep. Thus, by embracing these Stoic principles, you can cultivate a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful. As the day draws to a close, before you surrender to the embrace of sleep, take a moment for introspection, a practice championed by the philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius himself. Engage in a reflective audit of your actions, mirroring his insightful self-questioning. He would routinely ponder inquiries such as, "What ill have I remedied today?" or "What weakness have I successfully resisted?" Therefore, use these powerful questions as tools to thoughtfully assess your day's journey. However, it's paramount to approach this audit with compassion, refraining from harsh self-judgment. Instead, focus on objective observation and strategic planning, envisioning how you can elevate your actions and character to even greater heights on the morrow. By fundamentally transforming your daily ritual in this manner, you are embarking on a profound journey of self-improvement. It's not merely about altering your actions, it's about revolutionizing your very thought patterns. You are actively training yourself to navigate life with greater intentionality, embracing a Stoic mindset, and maintaining unwavering focus on the aspects within your sphere of influence while gracefully relinquishing control over those that lie beyond. Consequently, each day becomes a deliberate stride towards realizing your fullest potential. It's a continuous journey towards becoming not just the individual you aspire to be, but the person you are destined to become. Therefore, persevere with unwavering dedication, day by day, one day at a time, until these enriching practices seamlessly integrate into your very being, becoming an inseparable facet of your identity. Your physical form serves as a tangible embodiment of your discipline. It faithfully mirrors the choices you make each day, whether you choose to push yourself to the limit or succumb to the temptation of complacency. And here's a stark reality that many find uncomfortable to acknowledge: your posture, your movements, your very presence in the world, all of it profoundly matters. It communicates volumes about your inner strength, your self-respect, and your unwavering commitment to personal excellence. Not simply a matter of aesthetics, but a journey of self-discovery, a reflection of the person you are evolving into. The ancient Stoics, philosophers of immense wisdom, held a profound understanding of this interconnectedness. They argued, with conviction and insight, that if one aspires to achieve mastery over their mind, the initial step lies in exercising control over their physical being. Seneca, the eloquent Stoic, penned the words, "The body should be treated more rigorously, that it may not be disobedient to the mind." In essence, by asserting dominion over your physical form, you pave the way for your mind to follow suit. Consequently, the discipline required to shape the body translates into mental fortitude. Often, we perceive physical transformation merely as a routine of gym visits or adherence to a diet. However, it encompasses so much more than that limited perspective. It is about forging unyielding resilience, training oneself to endure discomfort with grit and determination, and pushing forward in the face of resistance, whether it arises during intense workouts or in the everyday challenges of life. Therefore, physical discipline is simply a metaphor for how you approach life. The Stoics, in their wisdom, deliberately sought out uncomfortable situations as a means of preparing themselves for the inevitable hardships of life. They embraced the practice of voluntary discomfort, engaging in activities such as fasting, walking barefoot, or sleeping on the floor. However, their intention was not to indulge in self-inflicted suffering, but rather to prove to themselves their capacity to endure and overcome. Once you grasp the profound understanding that you possess the ability to handle discomfort, you cease to fear it. Subsequently, when the fear of discomfort dissipates, you unlock a state of unstoppable power and resilience. Therefore, by conquering the body, you conquer the mind, and by conquering the mind, you conquer your fears. Therefore, today marks a pivotal shift, a transition not merely focused on aesthetic improvement, but on comprehensive self-betterment. If physical activity hasn't been a consistent part of your routine, that narrative transforms starting now. And understand, this doesn't necessitate an expensive gym membership or elaborate equipment, it simply demands an initial spark. Embark on a run, engage in bodyweight exercises, lift a substantial weight, elevate your heart rate, break a sweat, and allow your body to awaken. This isn't about inflicting punishment upon yourself, instead, it's about rekindling something within you that has remained dormant for far too long. The sensation of exertion, of surpassing your perceived limitations, is precisely where confidence is forged, where you commence the process of reshaping your very identity. Moreover, let's be absolutely clear, this isn't a pursuit of unattainable perfection, it's an unwavering commitment to consistency. You aren't required to train with the intensity of a professional athlete, but you absolutely must train with the dedication of someone who respects themselves, someone who comprehends that discipline cultivated in the physical realm invariably translates into discipline in the mental realm. Consequently, Marcus Aurelius astutely wrote, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible." A single workout, in isolation, won't revolutionize your life, but the unwavering habit of showing up every single day, of consistently putting in the effort, undoubtedly will. This consistent effort, this dedication, will ultimately lead to the transformation you seek. It is through this daily commitment that you will forge a stronger, more resilient, and ultimately, a better version of yourself. Let's delve into the crucial topic of fuel, specifically, what you ingest dramatically influences your energy levels, your prevailing mood, and your capacity for focused concentration. The Stoics, those paragons of self-control, championed moderation in all things. They adamantly believed in eschewing excess and resisting indulgence, understanding that these weakened the very fabric of the will. Epictetus, the insightful philosopher, cautioned against allowing oneself to be dominated by cravings, famously declaring, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Therefore, commencing today, approach eating with deliberate intention. Eliminate mindless snacking, those thoughtless nibbles that sabotage your well-being. Ban those processed foods that leave you feeling sluggish, mentally foggy, and depleted of vitality. You don't have to embrace radical dietary changes or adhere to restrictive regimes. Simply commit to making incrementally better choices. Prioritize whole, unprocessed foods that nourish your body from the inside out. Increase your water intake, ensuring proper hydration. Conversely, consciously reduce your consumption of junk food, those empty calories that keep you mired in a state of inertia. Before each meal or snack, pause and pose this vital question to yourself: is this choice helping me become stronger, sharper, more disciplined? If the resounding answer is no, you already possess the inherent wisdom to understand the appropriate course of action. Posture, movement, and overall presence are all profoundly impacted when you consciously choose to treat your body as a vital tool, rather than a mere afterthought. When you actively strengthen your physical form, you inevitably carry yourself with a newfound sense of confidence and poise. You stand taller, emanating self-assurance. Your movements become purposeful and deliberate, reflecting inner strength. And trust me on this, people will undoubtedly take notice of this transformation. More importantly, you will perceive a significant shift within yourself. Because the stronger you become physically, the more unshakable and resilient you inevitably become mentally. The correlation between physical and mental fortitude is undeniable, each bolstering the other in a virtuous cycle of growth and empowerment. Thus, fuel your body wisely, and unlock your full potential. Your mind, your greatest ally or worst enemy. Indeed, your mind represents either your most potent weapon or your most significant vulnerability. It possesses the capacity to propel you forward with incredible force or, conversely, to restrain you, preventing progress. The truly remarkable aspect of this reality is that you, and only you, possess the authority to determine which role your mind will play. Sadly, a substantial portion of humanity navigates life as veritable prisoners of their own internal monologues, confined within invisible barriers constructed from the insidious materials of self-doubt, pervasive fear, and a litany of excuses. They weave elaborate narratives for themselves, whispering insidious pronouncements such as, "I am not good enough, I am not lucky enough, and I am not capable enough," until these fabricated stories tragically morph into their lived reality. However, let us unveil a profound truth: your mind, in essence, is merely a compilation of intricate patterns, deeply ingrained beliefs, and established habits. And just as with any detrimental habit, the insidious cycle of negative thinking can be shattered, dismantled, and ultimately overcome. That, precisely, is the core focus of today, embarking on a transformative journey of rewiring your mindset, systematically dismantling each and every limiting belief that holds you captive, and replacing these debilitating notions with something far more robust, far more empowering, and far more aligned with your true potential. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers renowned for their wisdom and resilience, were unyielding in their pursuit of mastering their thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, famously penned the words, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In other words, the external circumstances that befall you are of far lesser consequence than the internal landscape of your mind, the thoughts and emotions that shape your perception and response to the world. It is within this internal realm that true power resides, the power to choose your narrative, to cultivate resilience, and to ultimately forge your own destiny. Therefore, seize control of your thoughts, for they are the architects of your reality. Embrace the power of positive thinking, and you will unlock a life of boundless potential and unwavering strength. The true struggle, the real contest, isn't unfolding in the external world, amidst the clamor and chaos of daily life. No, the authentic battleground resides within the confines of your own mind, in the intricate landscape of your thoughts and beliefs. Therefore, today marks a crucial turning point. You cease operating as a mere puppet, passively reacting to the whims and fancies of circumstance, controlled by the unpredictable currents of external events. Instead, you consciously adopt the mindset of a warrior, a sovereign ruler who commands every situation, who actively shapes their reality. The initial stride on this transformative journey: profound awareness. Sharpen your senses, cultivate a heightened attentiveness to the very thoughts that traverse your mind throughout this day. Carefully observe the frequency with which insidious doubt manages to infiltrate your consciousness, how swiftly you conjure up justifications and excuses, how readily you succumb to the seductive embrace of negativity, allowing it to dominate your inner landscape. Each and every instance you detect that subtle, insidious voice whispering, "I cannot," halt it immediately, arrest its momentum in its tracks. Interrogate its validity, challenge its presumptions, pose these crucial questions to yourself: who instilled this notion within me? What is the origin of this limiting belief? Does it even align with truth? Because, in the vast majority of cases, it does not. It is merely an antiquated script, a relic of the past that you have been unconsciously replaying on autopilot, a narrative you inadvertently absorbed from another individual, a primal fear cleverly disguised as rational logic. The Stoic philosophers, masters of inner resilience, referred to this practice as meticulously examining impressions, rigorously testing your thoughts instead of blindly accepting them as gospel truth. Now, let us transition to the realm of practical application. Each time a limiting belief dares to surface within your mind today, swiftly replace it with its diametrical opposite, its empowering counterpart. Instead of uttering, "I do not possess the knowledge to accomplish this," confidently declare, "I will unravel the complexities and discover the solution." Instead of lamenting, "I lack sufficient strength," affirm with conviction, "I am progressively becoming stronger with each passing day." This is not about fabricating a superficial veneer of false positivity, rather, it is about deliberately and strategically shifting your focal point, redirecting your attention towards growth, potential, and the unwavering belief in your own capabilities. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of resilience, weren't merely dreaming of favorable results. Instead, they rigorously trained their minds to cultivate unyielding strength, no matter the adversities life threw their way. Lucius Aeneas Seneca, the younger, a prominent Stoic, once penned the profound words, "A man is as miserable as he thinks he is." Considering that our thoughts profoundly shape our reality, why not embrace the mindset of an individual who is truly unstoppable? And let's delve into the subject of fear, that paralyzing emotion. Fear, without a doubt, stands as the most formidable destroyer of potential, a silent saboteur that prevents individuals from embracing risks, vocalizing their thoughts, and pursuing the life their hearts truly desire. However, here's a crucial realization: the anticipation of fear, the monster we conjure in our minds, is invariably more terrifying than the actual reality we face. The Stoics embraced a powerful practice known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involved vividly visualizing the absolute worst-case scenario before it actually transpired. By doing so, they mentally prepared themselves to confront any potential challenges with equanimity and resolve. Instead of shying away from fear, they confronted it head-on, effectively stripping it of its power and influence. They understood that anticipating adversity allowed them to navigate it with greater calm and clarity. Therefore, today, I urge you to reflect upon the tasks and opportunities you've been avoiding due to the grip of fear. Perhaps it involves initiating that challenging project, engaging in that difficult but necessary conversation, or stepping outside the confines of your comfort zone. Regardless of the specific situation, I challenge you to picture the absolute worst-case scenario. In doing so, you may find that the reality is not as daunting as you imagined, and that you possess the inner strength to overcome any obstacle. By confronting your fears, you unlock your true potential and paving the way for a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Now, pose to yourself the question: could I survive that? Could I handle it? In almost every instance, the resounding answer is yes. Once you come to this pivotal realization, fear, that insidious force, begins to relinquish its hold over you. Another insidious habit that keeps so many people chained to stagnation is complaining. Complaining, quite simply, is mental poison. It subtly, yet powerfully, shifts your focus from the realm of what you can actively control to the frustrating landscape of what lies beyond your grasp. The esteemed Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, adhered to a steadfast rule: do not squander precious time assigning blame, indulging in whining, or wistfully wishing for circumstances to be different. Instead, he advocated channeling all of your energy, your mental and emotional resources, into the tangible actions you can undertake. Therefore, today, make a conscious effort to catch yourself in the act of complaining, whether it manifests outwardly in spoken words or silently within the confines of your own thoughts. And when you do, halt the behavior immediately. Then, turn inward and ask yourself this crucial question: what is one concrete action, however small, that I can take right now to remedy this situation? If, after honest reflection, you conclude that there is truly nothing within your power to alter the circumstances, then embrace acceptance and resolutely move forward. No more wasted energy, no more fruitless dwelling. Because wasted energy is lost potential. Furthermore, it is imperative to understand that no matter how strong, disciplined, or successful you may become in your endeavors, if you consistently neglect the individuals who surround you, who form your support network, you will invariably experience a profound sense of incompleteness, as if something vital is missing from your life. Because here lies a fundamental truth about the human condition: we are inherently built for connection. Even the most fiercely independent, resolutely self-sufficient person among us requires relationships that challenge them to grow, support them through adversity, and ultimately contribute to their ongoing self-improvement. We thrive in the ecosystem of human interaction. It is essential to our well-being. To ignore it is to diminish our potential. The Stoics possessed a profound comprehension of this fundamental truth. Marcus Aurelius, despite holding the esteemed position of the most powerful individual in the Roman Empire, consistently reminded himself of his role as merely one integral component of a much grander, interconnected entity. He penned the insightful words, "We were born for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth." In other words, attempting to navigate life in isolation is not an indication of strength, rather, it signifies a profound weakness. It underscores the inherent human need for connection and collaboration. However, let's be honest and acknowledge the undeniable fact that relationships are not invariably smooth sailing. People are complex, unpredictable, and, at times, undeniably frustrating. Perhaps, over time, you've even persuaded yourself that you are better off maintaining a solitary existence, thereby sidestepping the potential inconveniences and complications that inevitably arise from interpersonal interactions. Yet, if you pause for reflection, you'll realize that the most significant and cherished moments of your life, those that truly held profound meaning and lasting impact, were not centered around material possessions like money, professional achievements, or societal status. Instead, these invaluable moments revolved around people: the intimate late-night conversations that irrevocably altered your perspective, the loyal friend who selflessly appeared precisely when you needed them the most, the inspiring mentor who challenged you to think on a grander scale and unlock your full potential. These experiences were not defined by what you possessed materially, but rather by who you had in your life to share them with. They highlighted the irreplaceable value of human connection and the profound impact that others can have on our personal journeys. Therefore, today is the perfect opportunity to dedicate yourself to strengthening your relationships. This includes not only the ones that are effortlessly easy and comfortable, but also, and perhaps more importantly, the ones that truly matter in the long run. Focus your energy on nurturing those connections that provide genuine support, foster personal growth, and contribute to a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. Embrace the challenges that may arise, knowing that the rewards of strong, healthy relationships far outweigh any temporary difficulties. In essence, invest in the power of human connection, and you will find that your life is immeasurably enriched. And it all commences with a straightforward, yet frequently disregarded, practice: cultivating presence. In our contemporary landscape, saturated with distractions, where the majority of individuals struggle to maintain focus during a dialogue without compulsively checking their mobile devices, the capacity to bestow one's undivided attention upon another becomes a precious and impactful attribute. Seneca, the esteemed Roman philosopher, astutely penned, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." This profound statement underscores that each and every interaction, be it with a cherished friend, a valued colleague, or even a complete stranger, presents a unique occasion to exhibit intentionality, to forge a meaningful connection, and to leave a positive imprint on the lives of those we encounter, enriching them in some small way. Begin by focusing on the individuals closest to your heart. Reflect upon the last instance you engaged in a profound and intimate conversation with your parents, your siblings, or your dearest friend. I'm not referring to the perfunctory, "How's it going?" query, but rather a genuine, heartfelt exchange of thoughts and feelings. Therefore, proactively initiate contact with them, whether through a phone call or by arranging a face-to-face meeting. Pose thoughtful questions and, most importantly, actively listen to their responses with genuine interest and empathy. Because, here's a fundamental truth that often eludes the awareness of many: everyone is perpetually engaged in a silent battle, grappling with challenges that remain concealed from our perception. Even the seemingly most resilient and composed individuals harbor internal struggles that they may choose not to divulge. They might be battling internal conflicts, financial problems, or problems in their relationships. Be mindful that everyone is fighting a hard battle. And indeed, sometimes the tiniest gesture of compassion, the utterly simple, "Hey, I have been thinking about you," can resound with a significance far exceeding what one might imagine. These small acts of kindness can alter the course of a day, or even a life. Now, let us delve into the crucial subject of the individuals with whom you choose to surround yourself, for it is imperative to acknowledge that not all relationships are equally worthy of preservation. Certain individuals elevate your spirit, present you with stimulating challenges, and spur you onward towards self-improvement. Conversely, others stealthily deplete your vital energy, inundate your mind with pessimism, and impede your progress, trapping you within the confines of outdated behavioral patterns. The Stoic philosophers, renowned for their unwavering resolve and discernment, adopted an unflinching stance on this matter. As the epic teachers wisely stated, the essential key lies in cultivating connections exclusively with those individuals who uplift your soul, whose very presence elicits the finest aspects of your character. Therefore, embark on a careful examination of the individuals populating your life's landscape. Are they actively propelling you towards the person you aspire to be, or are they instead acting as a weight, holding you firmly in the past? If it is the latter, a deliberate withdrawal is warranted. This does not necessarily entail a sudden and heartless severance of ties, rather, it signifies a conscious and intentional approach to determining who deserves the allocation of your precious time and energy. Because, ultimately, time is indeed your most invaluable resource, and the choices you make regarding with whom you spend it will undoubtedly dictate the ultimate trajectory of your life. Consequently, it is vital not only to nurture and strengthen existing relationships but also to actively construct new ones that will enrich your life. Seek out individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. These new connections can infuse your life with fresh perspectives and unexpected opportunities, leading to unforeseen and positive transformations. Building a robust and supportive network is an investment in your own well-being and future success. Should you find yourself lacking individuals in your life who spark inspiration and present stimulating challenges, then I urge you to actively seek them out. Consider enlisting in a fresh community or extending a hand to someone you hold in high esteem. Position yourself in environments where individuals of high caliber congregate. The Stoics, renowned philosophers of antiquity, professed a deep belief in acquiring knowledge from others, specifically learning from those who have traversed the path ahead of you. For instance, Seneca served as a mentor to Nero, while Epictetus functioned as a teacher to numerous individuals. It is an undeniable truth that no one thrives in complete isolation. Therefore, if your ambition is to evolve into the optimal version of yourself, it is imperative that you surround yourself with individuals who mirror that aspiration. Sadly, a vast majority of people simply drift through life without any concrete plan. They awaken each day, commute to work, settle their outstanding bills, engage in endless scrolling on their mobile phones, and then repeat this very same cycle year after year. They rarely, if ever, pause to reflect on their trajectory, questioning, where am I actually going in life? Instead of actively charting their own course, they allow life to merely happen to them. However, here lies a crucial observation: absent a clear direction, you will inevitably find yourself going nowhere. The Stoics, as a philosophical school of thought, placed immense emphasis on this principle. Marcus Aurelius, the esteemed Stoic emperor, once articulated that, a man's life is dyed by the color of his thoughts. Therefore, what you consistently focus on, what you carefully plan for, and what you diligently work toward, these are the very elements that constitute and shape your ultimate future. Consequently, surround yourself with those who elevate you, and direct your thoughts with precision and purpose. This, in essence, is the Stoic path to a meaningful existence. And if the vision of that future remains murky, you'll inevitably find yourself trapped in repetitive patterns, constantly pondering the elusive nature of change. Up to this point, you have devoted the previous 5 days to dismantling outdated habits, honing your intellect, and fortifying your physical being. However, true transformation transcends mere improvement. It entails constructing a future that mirrors this reinvigorated version of yourself. And such a future does not materialize spontaneously, rather, it arises from a place of deliberate, strategic, and utterly clear planning. The ancient philosopher Seneca aptly observed, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." Reflect on that profound statement. Absent a lucidly defined objective, the sheer volume of effort expended becomes irrelevant, leading only to endless drifting. Therefore, today, we rectify this situation. The moment has arrived to seize control of your destiny and craft it with intention. And refrain from declaring, "I do not know what I want." Deep down, you possess that knowledge, you simply have not granted yourself the necessary time or the authorization to be utterly forthright about it. Thus, commence with this inquiry: if every aspect of my existence were to align perfectly within the next 5 years, what would that reality entail? Paint a vivid picture. Let your imagination soar. What would your day look like? What would your relationships be like? What impact would you be making on the world? Really consider the possibilities that lie before you. This is the foundation upon which you will build your future. It's not enough to simply harbor a hazy aspiration for success, you must define your goals with unwavering precision. Imagine, in vivid detail, your life 5 years from now. Where, precisely, are you residing? What specific type of work are you engaged in? What is the rhythm and texture of your typical day? Envision the people who surround you, the individuals who form your inner circle. And most importantly, how do you feel as you awaken each morning, ready to greet the day? The sharper and more distinct your vision, the more effortlessly you will gravitate towards its realization. Therefore, dissect that ambitious 5-year vision into manageable segments. What tangible steps must be taken within the next year to propel you closer to your ultimate destination? What milestones need to be achieved in the coming 6 months? What immediate actions are required within the next month, even the next week? A significant number of individuals find themselves paralyzed because they merely fantasize about the future, neglecting to construct a concrete, actionable system for actually reaching their desired outcome. However, keep in mind that meticulous planning is rendered entirely futile without consistent and unwavering execution. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, lived by a fundamental rule: act according to reason, not impulse. This signifies establishing a well-defined strategy and then diligently adhering to it with unwavering discipline, not only when it is convenient or appealing, but consistently, every single day. And here lies a crucial insight: your meticulously crafted plan must possess inherent flexibility. The Stoics, masters of navigating the unpredictable currents of life, profoundly understood that regardless of the extent of your preparation, life remains inherently unpredictable. You will undoubtedly encounter setbacks, and unexpected challenges will inevitably arise. But these inevitable bumps in the road are not valid reasons to abandon your pursuit, rather, they serve as catalysts for adaptation and resilience. Embrace the unexpected, learn from your mistakes, and adjust your course accordingly. Thus, you will not only persevere but ultimately triumph. Epic teachers once proclaimed, circumstances do not create a person, rather, they unveil their true character. Therefore, when events unfold in a manner divergent from our meticulously crafted plans, the imperative lies in adaptation. Seek alternative routes, discover new pathways, and, above all, maintain unwavering forward momentum. The individuals who ultimately triumph are not those endowed with flawlessly executed strategies. Instead, they are the steadfast souls who remain unequivocally dedicated to their purpose, irrespective of the obstacles and adversities that may arise. Moreover, the Stoic philosophers, revered for their wisdom and resilience, profoundly believed in the transformative power of introspective reflection. This practice, they argued, allows us to understand our reactions and improve decision-making in the face of adversity. When confronted with unexpected challenges, taking time for thoughtful consideration can provide clarity and perspective. Thus, it allows us to recalibrate our approach, fortifying our resolve to persevere, even when the path ahead appears shrouded in uncertainty. In essence, embracing this philosophy of reflection allows us to harness our inner strength and navigate life's complexities with unwavering grace and determination. Each evening, as the day drew to a close and sleep beckoned, Seneca made it a practice to meticulously review the events that had unfolded. He would earnestly question himself, what actions did I execute with excellence? Where did my performance fall short, and how could I have elevated it? What invaluable lessons did the day impart? This wasn't an exercise in harsh self-criticism or negative judgment, it was, in essence, a profound journey of self-mastery. It was about ensuring that each 24-hour period wasn't squandered but instead purposefully utilized as a foundational building block for achieving something far grander and more significant. And that, unequivocally, is the very essence of what today is about, looking back, not through the clouded lenses of guilt or regret, but with the crystalline clarity of purpose and intention. So, pose the question to yourself, what transformations have manifested this week? Scrutinize your established habits. How do you perceive your state of being in comparison to 7 days ago? Delve into your mindset. Are you engaging in thought processes that diverge from your previous patterns? Evaluate your self-assurance. Are you navigating life with a heightened sense of conviction and determination? If you have genuinely and wholeheartedly committed to this transformative process, the answer should be strikingly self-evident. However, there exists yet another facet that warrants contemplation, the resistance. Because, let's be candid, this journey was not paved with ease. There were undoubtedly moments when you felt the overwhelming urge to surrender, to abandon the path. Times when your deeply ingrained, antiquated habits attempted to ensnare you once more, to drag you back into their familiar embrace. Moments when the insidious voice of doubt slithered into your consciousness, whispering insidious lies that your efforts were futile, that genuine change was an unattainable illusion. That insidious voice hasn't vanished entirely, and in all likelihood, it never will. But the crucial distinction now lies in your newfound ability to disregard its deceptive pronouncements. As epic teachers so astutely observed, progress isn't a fortuitous occurrence or a mere accident, rather, it is meticulously cultivated through consistent, dedicated work on oneself, day in and day out. And that, my friends, is the pivotal key. This past week wasn't a magical illusion, a sleight of hand. It wasn't about discovering a quick fix or experiencing instantaneous, miraculous results. It was profoundly about cultivating momentum, about irrefutably demonstrating to yourself that change is not only conceivable but entirely within your grasp when you cease waiting passively and proactively initiate movement. However, momentum is a fickle force, enduring only if you diligently sustain it. So, the paramount question now looms large: what unfolds next? Because, let's be unequivocally clear, if you don't actively and consciously persist in this transformative endeavor, your former self will stealthily creep back into the forefront. You'll gradually slip into those comfortable, well-worn patterns, and before you can even register the passage of time, a week will morph into a month, and then a year, and you'll awaken one day, bewildered, questioning how you managed to find yourself precisely back where you started. That, sadly, is the disheartening reality for the vast majority of individuals. They experience a fleeting taste of change, but they fail to solidify it, to anchor it firmly in place. They neglect to establish the necessary systems to sustain it over the long term. And that is precisely why today isn't merely about reflection, it's about resetting, about meticulously solidifying these nascent habits, imbuing them into the very fabric of your being, transforming them from transient experiments into integral components of your identity. Marcus Aurelius, in his profound wisdom, consistently reminded himself daily, waste no more precious time debating what constitutes a good human being, instead, embody one. You already possess the inherent knowledge of what actions are required of you. You already embody the very person you aspire to be. Your sole responsibility is to consistently show up as that person, day after day. That entails diligently continuing the habits you meticulously constructed this week, relentlessly pushing your boundaries, persistently eliminating distractions, challenging your intellect, fortifying your physical well-being, and surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift and inspire you to reach your full potential. You've irrefutably proven that change isn't a passive event that simply befalls you, it is an active creation, meticulously fashioned by your own hands. The habits you cultivate, the choices you make, the very manner in which you carry yourself, all of these elements coalesce to shape the person you are relentlessly evolving into. And now, only one question remains: will you persevere? Most individuals will succumb to procrastination, uttering the familiar refrain, someday, but not today. But you, my friend, possess a deeper understanding. You've already embarked on this transformative journey, so do not falter now. Continue pushing forward, refining your techniques, evolving into the best version of yourself. Because the greatest iteration of you isn't relegated to some distant, unattainable future, it resides right here, within your reach, eagerly awaiting your conscious decision to claim it. If you are prepared to embark on the next step of this incredible journey, watch one of the videos illuminating your screen right now. And as always, a heartfelt thank you for being an integral part of the community.